What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Pay-Per-Viewpoint edition of the Smark Moment Smack Talk podcast, where we're going to be talking, as you can see, I'm already getting emails, about the WWE Saturday Night's main event that just went down. Let me mute my phone. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and I really don't have much to talk about here, to be perfectly honest. We have 5 matches that went down. It was a 2-hour podcast. Very quick, snappy episode of this, which I'm kind of hoping that they continue going forward when they go to San Antonio for the next one. But I do hope that there are changes going forward as well. I would sum this up in one word by saying underwhelming. And that sounds very like doom and gloom. And oh my God, who would you like anything kind of. But I went into this expecting it to be a little bit more, to be honest. I am not surprised with any of the outcomes for anything. It's not like I was expecting it to be super shocking or like the most, bombastic event that they've had this entire year or anything along those lines. But I do feel like it was kind of half-assed in a lot of ways. And I don't think I would have booked this to be like this if I were at least on creative. Now, to each their own, maybe plenty of people are going to say that this is exactly what they were hoping for, and this was like the best show of the year and everything along those lines. I am not in that regard, but I also am not going to say that it was a terrible show or anything. It's just that the things that I was hoping to see on this that would have made it better, I didn't quite see. So I will break that down. I'll talk about what I think, but I also want to know what you have to say. Whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, drop those thoughts in the comment section below on YouTube, or if you're elsewhere, maybe you are chatting it up on our Discord server or something. If you are, check out the Discord if you're not a part of that and everything. Keep in mind as well, of course, if you are on YouTube, then make sure you hit the like button, double check you are subscribed, ring the notification bell. Click on the super chats if you are live in the chat. I see Peter's in the chat. He says this show sucked. If you are listening to this after the fact instead of live, then you can still click on the thanks button and all that. Join button gives you access to the same stuff as the Patreon. We always talk about how that's, the typical, like the Darkcast tier, the Pick a Poison tier, all that good stuff. Redbubble and TeePublic is where you get your merchandise as well, so keep that in mind too. And, yes, I mean, when it comes to what Peter just said in the chat about this show sucked, it kind of, I wouldn't say sucked, but it was very blah. I don't think it was a smart decision to have, for instance, 4 heels win the first 4 matches and then lead to a champion retaining in the main event. I think that they could have even taken exactly what happened on here and they could have rearranged it a little bit, and I think it would have been a little bit better too. For instance, I would have, with this lineup, I think that it would have made more sense if the triple threat for the World Heavyweight Championship would have gone first. Maybe that would not have made that much of a difference in the grand scheme, but I thought that match was arguably like the most entertaining in the ring for this whole show. And if you would have started off with that, you would have started off with a little bit more of a bang, because Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, they're great. Look, I like both of them a lot, but they didn't do anything to really be like a wow kind of factor at the beginning of this. They started off with that match, and Sami Zayn goes after Drew McIntyre pretty much on the onset, and then they just have a normal match, and Drew McIntyre wins, and then that's the end of that. It means nothing. It's not for anything. There's no stakes going forward. So then, I don't know. I think that maybe this would have benefited from having that swapped out for something else. Maybe somebody a little bit more energetic, because let's face it, Sami Zayn coming out and just immediately attacking Drew McIntyre, who comes out all sullen and brooding, is not like the most like wow kind of start to this either. So I think that was a little bit of a mistake. I know now that we came across some reports that said that the original plan was Seth Rollins against Bronson Reed. I think that would have made for a better match, yeah, but since they couldn't do that, I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe they should have put somebody on there like an LA Knight to get like the crowd a little bit more wild up, or maybe they could have put somebody in there like a I don't know, maybe there could have been like a tag team title match or something like that. I think that something else could have happened here instead. And I mean, even Braun Breaker, I think, to be perfectly honest, if they would have done Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser, that might have been a better match to put on here too. Bigger names, yeah, but Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, they had a normal match. It's completely forgettable. Then we had the Liv Morgan and Io Sky WWE Women's World Championship match. And that one was like just a normal match too. Like, you know, I wasn't expecting that to be the best match that's ever happened in the history of women's pro wrestling or anything like that either. But at the same time, that was very normal and just sort of run of the mill. And then here's where it made me go, okay, I'm not really digging this a whole lot. By this point, we had already seen what their presentation was. They started off with the Saturday Night's Main Event intro, which was kind of neat. We've got the classic look to things, but Jesse Ventura is only going to be on the main event. Kind of in retrospect, maybe that was better. And Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are, you know, trying to hype up everything that's going on and all. But I didn't feel at all going into this that like the Io Sky side of this feud was really all that intriguing. So I was just waiting for Liv Morgan to retain. And then they hit me with a little bit of a surprise. Rhea Ripley comes out. And what does Rhea Ripley do? For this person that she's been feuding with for well over a year and has had issues with not only she being the champion, Liv Morgan, but also Raquel Rodriguez and also Dominic Mysterio. She does her pose and then she stares at Liv Morgan for 5 seconds. And then they cut to a commercial. And that's something that's just like, why did we need to see? You paid for Rhea to fly out to go here to stand next to Liv Morgan for 5 seconds. It's not like we don't know that they are already feuding. So what's the purpose of that? I don't understand why that's supposed to be like, oh my God, they don't like each other. Yeah, we know they haven't liked each other for the entire year. She should be going after her. She should have attacked her. She should have done, or just not been a part of this whatsoever. Or maybe she should have been the one having the title match tonight and they could have done that. And then that could have started off the night, or that could have been the second match, and it could have been Rhea Ripley winning the World Heavyweight Championship or the Women's World Championship. And then that could have been the big, grandiose, oh my God, you really shouldn't have missed the show type of angle. Having her come out and just stare at Liv Morgan for 2 seconds, I thought that was incredibly lame. So I didn't like that at all. I want this feud. I was just gonna say I want this feud to end, and then right after that, the message in the chat for the love of God, I hope it's not extended to Mania. I really want them to just nip this in the bud. Just do it already. We can give Rhea versus someone else. I don't know who. I don't really want that Rhea versus Becky, and I don't want Rhea versus Io. I don't know what their plans are for that, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, I'd rather try something different like that than to extend this feud. The only way I could see this making sense to do as Liv Morgan not dropping that belt to Rhea Ripley ahead of time is if they do a triple threat and they throw in Raquel. It's the only way I could see them doing this. And the only way to do that, of course, is to then bypass Rhea Ripley again, which she shouldn't have 15 chances to win this championship and keep coming up short. I don't think that that's the right call either. So I wasn't the biggest fan of this match. I thought that the post-match angle was pretty stupid, and I thought that felt very half-assed. So at that point, I'm kind of starting to get checked out a little bit already, because I'm like, all right, well, we got 3 matches left and all, and I know that Gunther was going to retain. Spoiler alert. Well, not spoiler alert, it already happened, but Gunther retains his World Heavyweight Championship over Finn Balor and Damian Priest. They go out there, they have a fine enough match. I think that it was probably the best match of the show and should have kicked off. And Gunther wins with a pinfall on Finn Balor. And they rushed this stuff. They dragged it. They did what they do with a lot of different things. And this is one of those things that's always upset me about WWE is they'll reach like, this is the end goal. I'll do this visually for people that are on YouTube. And they'll start off a feud, and I'll do this way. They'll start off a feud. They'll be like, "Oh, we're heading in the right direction. We're heading towards there, whatever, like that." Oh crap! We need to kind of like slow the pace And we're going to slow, and we're going to slow, and we're going to slow, and we're going to keep it slow, and keep it slow, and then, no, we got to get to the end there. And I hate when they do that so much. That's kind of what happened here. They ended up just rushing this because I guess somebody is going to trade over from Raw and SmackDown in this transfer window thing, or they just decided to move on to something else, like maybe we get Goldberg versus Gunther at Royal Rumble or something. But this was another match that was just basically set up to be like, all right, let's kill time, and the champion's not going to change hands, and nothing is really going to advance. It's just a repeat of what we've seen since SummerSlam. But hey, Finn Balor's in the mix now. Now Finn Balor lost, so now there's no reason to have a singles match either. So they got that out of the way. They did the better match of the night, and that led to the Women's United States Championship match. I wouldn't have liked Bayley versus Stephanie Stratton more. I do see still the argument that Bayley should potentially have won this championship to like set the tone as it being, former women's world champion and all that. But I do think that this was the right call in just like entertainment value. Chelsea Green versus Michin. I want Michin to win something at some point. I do think that she's overlooked, and underrated, I should say. It's total opposite of overrated. If she would have walked out of this with the championship, I would have been happy about that, because I think that she does deserve to win something. Whether that's, maybe she should have won the NXT championship at some point. Maybe she should go back down to NXT and win something like that, or the Women's United States championship in the future, or the Intercontinental title, or whatever it might be. I do want her to win something. Maybe the tag team championships, maybe she gets the tag team partner. But Chelsea Green is the way more interesting character. She is going to create more storylines out of this. I don't know who she's going to feud with on the SmackDown roster, particularly right now, unless they start changing people up and they bring up people from NXT and they do the whole transfer window thing. But I think that she was the right call. And the match itself, not particularly, oh my God, amazing, but they did their job. I think that Chelsea winning this championship not only was basically kind of the highlight of this show, but was something that, it's kind of a pat on the back for the great character work that she's done as of like the past couple of years and stuff. So I like that for her. I'm glad she's champion. I do feel like this could have also happened on SmackDown, and maybe we could have gotten some other kind of thing happening or whatever. This card in the grand scheme isn't exactly what I would have done. Maybe they should have started off with this too. Maybe that would have been a different thing, or at least maybe this should have been the second match, and then maybe Liv Morgan should have swapped and they should have done that. At least then it could have been like, whoa, we just saw a championship change hands. Oh my God. But what's Peter saying here in the chat? I want Chelsea to get ribbed and have the time as champion, and her husband Zack Ryder for the first time ever, husband and wife for United States champion. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and we never had in the United States championship before, so that tournament final leads to the grand finale of this whole thing, and that is the undisputed WWE championship match. Cody Rhodes successfully defending against Kevin Owens, which of course then not only included the Winged Eagle title, looked great, looked like it suited Cody perfectly fine, definitely one of my major highlights, and Jesse the Body Ventura on commentary. And Jesse wasn't great. I wanted more of old school Jesse, and he did say one line that I thought was pretty good though. He had a little snakeskin jacket on, and when they were talking about that momentarily, he was like, yeah, it used to be named Damian, and for some reason, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole didn't bite for it. I mean, the snake bite. They were just sort of like, oh, yeah, okay, like, whatever. And then Jesse had to be like, remember, like, Damian was Jake the Snake, kind of, and that was, like, his highlight moment. But he was trying to sell the idea that Kevin Owens was like the rightful winner and all this, and that was kind of booked strange too for me, because this should be the end of this feud, and instead of just going in like Cody wins outright, that's the end type of fashion, they went with Kevin Owens has a 6 count plus pinfall on Cody after doing a stunner when referee Charles Robinson is knocked down. So that makes it seem like Cody should have gotten pinned, and then after the next ref, Eddie Rango, gets knocked out from Cody again, Kevin Owens brings a steel chair into the ring. He's not able to do that, and Cody capitalizes and hits the crossroads on the steel chair. And then there's an awkward little bit before Charles Robinson can count the pin. So the babyface champion who beat this guy before is now only retaining his title because he used a steel chair when 2 referees were knocked down, and would have already gotten his pinfall, would have lost the championship. Why were they booked like the opposites? Cody was booked like the heel here. I do not understand that. I think that was a really bad call. Hopefully that's not going to blow back on Cody and make him look weak going forward. Hopefully that's not going to signal that this feud is going to continue, because I do not think that they need to have another match whatsoever. But I think at this point, if they're doing that, then they're probably going to, because it's probably just going to run under the idea of, I had you beaten and you only beat me with this steel chair that I brought in, blah, blah, blah. So we're probably getting another match between them. And I don't think we needed Cody to beat Kevin Owens 3 times, and to do it in this kind of fashion either. And then it just ends. That's it. So if this is the highest quality, the best, most effort that they put into this out of all these Saturday night's main events that we're going to get going forward, then when they get to 38, and they do 39, 40, and 41 over the course of this next year in each quarter, I think we're looking at very quickly, we're going down the tubes with the main event superstars kind of booking, where they end up going all right, well, now Saturday night's main event on quarter 3 of 2025 is going to be we're going to have 3 matches over the 2 hours. We're going to fill it with promos, and those 3 matches are going to be tag title match that we've seen in a rematch 5 times, and this really big important CM Punk versus Akam match, or you know what I mean? I this didn't give me faith that the next ones are going to be even better. This made me think, oh, they really didn't care too much to start for this. And the Rhea Ripley thing and all that, that didn't help either. So how do I feel about it? Very underwhelmed. I think if they continue to do the retro thing, it's already lost its cachet value, and I think that they are pretty much looking at having lower and lower ratings as time goes on. I don't think that this is something that would have convinced anybody that doesn't watch wrestling to start watching wrestling, and that's very disappointing, because I thought that they had the option to do that here. Whatever. This is the last quote-unquote pay-per-view kind of thing in WWE for this year. It's not the best way to go out. And I'm going to factor that in when we come to the end of the year awards. So I don't know exactly how we're going to be recording that, but that is coming up soon. We're going to potentially try to knock out some stuff Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, Thursday, that kind of thing. You'll see whenever it's uploaded that it's uploaded. If you are on the $5 and up tiers on YouTube, then you'll get early access to anything. It's pretty much as soon as we get done recording it, I'll upload them, and then they'll be kind of rolling along like that. If not, then I'll have them published in a different type of way. I don't know exactly how I'm going to publish that, so we'll figure that out and do that over these next couple days and stuff. But that is the next thing that's going to be coming your way from Smark Out Moment. And be sure, as always, to check out all the different stuff that we have, all that marketplace stuff that I mentioned before. Check out fanboysanonymous.com as well. Check out everything you can find at amangotree.com. All the Linktree stuff is all listed there. It's not quite up to date when it's missing Blue Sky, but then again, I'm not really on Blue Sky. I do have to change that little Twitter icon logo on there. I'm seeing that too. But yeah, I mean, it's the same basic things, you know how it goes. So follow that stuff. Follow me at Tony Mango. Follow Rob and Callum, who aren't here, at Wigmeister14 and at Dude Felice. You'll be hearing them over the awards and the hot tags and all the other stuff that we do for the end of this year. And I guess I'll see you then. And for now, this has been another Smark Out Moment, and I'm being counted out.